Hi, Tiera. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to speak with you about nurses. Got a chance to catch the first few episodes of season two,
Mhm.
and it really feels like coming back to a very familiar place. What did you enjoy
Mhm.
most about shooting this season?
This season was a really special one. We started filming before the pandemic. We did an episode and a half, and then the pandemic hit, and we got shut down and sent home for 4 months. And then we went back to filming last summer, and it was a really interesting experience. We had to learn all the new protocols. We were all in a very kind of unsure place. And we really had to rely on each other to, keep each other's spirits up, keep each other safe. So it was definitely a learning experience, but it's really incredible to watch the season back and be like, oh, you can't even tell. You can't tell that this crazy thing in the world was happening while we were making this show. And yeah, it was so nice to be able to go back and see everybody and be on the stage again. And it was really wonderful.
And you're right about that because when I'm watching it, I've watched some other shows in which you can tell that they're filming and it's COVID and they're sort of afraid to be close to each other. But your
Mm-hmm.
show feels like it picked off right where it left off. It didn't skip a beat. So how did you
Yeah.
feel? How did you feel like? And certainly in terms of the subject matter of the show, how do you feel like the climate sort of affected the filming?
It definitely did affect it in the sense that, we were honoring nurses before the pandemic happened and thought that that was a really cool thing that we were able to do, and a really special thing. And then coming back after the pandemic and, everything that the frontline workers had done for us and were still doing while we were, filming the show, was it added a real weight to everything we were doing. It made everything we were doing feel a lot more important and a lot more special, which was, really, really interesting. And it's funny because not a lot on our set changed other than masks and shields and testing. But I would say one of the biggest things, and nobody will probably really notice this, but it's because we know we had the same group of extras the entire time we were filming. So it was the same group of people for safety reasons because they were all getting tested and we weren't having new people coming in and out every day. But some days they were a patient, then they were a doctor, and then they were a nurse, and then they were a family member. And it's funny watching, like I've watched the first couple episodes and I was like, oh, there's Simon again. Oh, now he's a patient. Oh, now he's a nurse. But these are things that we know because we were there every day. But I'm sure the audience will pick up on it once they've been told about it. But it became really special because you don't ever get that much time with people in like a really condensed amount of time. We all became this season, we all became such a family because we were working together, trying to keep each other safe. It made the whole filming experience much more special in a way.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to look out for that now. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Completely missed it.
See?
Yeah.
See, but now you'll know and you'll be like, oh, I that person there again. But for me, I'm like, we are still making a TV show. It's not reality, and we needed to keep everybody safe, and we did it the best way that we could. And I think it was really great.
Last season, it was a bit of a mystery as to what Grace was going through, kept secret.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it played out, I thought was handled so well. But it means that for this season in particular, it kind of takes Grace in a bit of a new direction. So I'm wondering what is something, can you maybe preview what's coming up this season and particularly for Grace?
Yeah, so Grace, we see her at the end of last season and she's finally, confronted this person who had done this terrible thing to her and no longer let the past kind of follow her. And, she comes into season 2 and she's kind of getting that fresh start that she wanted when she started at St. Mary's at the beginning of season 1, and then her past followed her and she wasn't able to escape it. But now she actually has been able to have that fresh start and have these people that supported her through it that, she wouldn't have leaned on before. and this little family growing. And so Grace, you know, you kind of get to see her step into her power and be able to be that nurse that she wants to be without the burdens of everything else happening.
Mm-hmm. I said that I've been reading a lot of your interviews. One in particular that struck me that I didn't even consider is you talked about the idea of being a number one, that you are the number one, you're the lead of this show, and that you actually received some advice from your co-star Chad Michael Murray about how to be the number one. What does that mean to you? And what does that mean sort of coming into this season? How do you approach the show as the lead?
You know, when we started season 1 and I knew I was, you know, going to be the lead, it was one of those things where I was like, obviously I want to do the best job as an actor I can do, but I felt like there was another side of it that was equally as important to me. And that was, you know, what kind of tone do I want to set for the show and the people that I'm working with? And, you know, we've all, like, as actors, you know, you come on for an episode here and there, and, you know, the leads sometimes aren't very more welcoming, or, you know, whatever. And I really wanted to make it be this like really easygoing, professional, like warm set and environment for everybody. And so I knew that he had, obviously Chad Michael Murray has worked a ton. So I was like, do you have any advice just for being a lead on a show, let alone the number one? And he gave me some really, really wonderful advice that like really stuck with me and made me, I carried that through, you know, all of season 1 and season 2. But yeah, you know, just things that are kind of no-brainers, you know, say goodbye to everybody, thank everybody at the end of every day, and always be the first one to get up and go to set when they call your name, and always know your lines and be off book, which just seems such simple no-brainer things. But, you know, when you're on set, you are the one who's like, oh, if they see the number one get up and go, nobody's gonna like wait and be behind them. You know, you kind of set the example. And you know, all of our cast and everybody was so amazing, and our crew was so nice that it really just anyways was a really incredible environment. But no, it was really important for me to just, you know, set that tone and have a good environment for everybody to work in.
I didn't realize, for Jordan Connor in particular, that, you know, I thought you might have known each other recently, but you go way back. So it must be really great that you're working with somebody that you've known for a long time.
Yeah, Jordan and I, you know, we did a short film for a friend of ours years ago, like probably 8 years ago, and then we did a music video together, and we never worked together on Riverdale at the same time, but we were like on set and stuff at the same time. But yeah, it was great, you know, having another Vancouver actor and friend on the set with us. So was really, really fun.
I have to ask you, for Riverdale, is Polly okay?
Is Polly ever really okay? Has Polly ever really been okay? You know, Polly's always a bit of a mess, and she's always, you know, kind of got her foot in the wrong door and doing the wrong thing. So yeah, I don't know. Polly's going through another version of disaster in her world and doing the best that she can.
And I wanted to ask you too, that I've never had a chance to, working with Lily, working with Machin, you're always so great integrating with scene partners. Who have been some of your favorite people to work with? And in particular, those two, what do you enjoy about working with them?
Oh, they're so lovely. I mean, a lot of my time on Riverdale has been spent working with the two of them in the Cooper house. And it's so lovely. You know, I come in here and there on the show, and we pick up right where we left off, and it's great. It's really fun. I've been on the show since the beginning with them, and kind of got to see their whole journey of starting out and the show taking off and doing so well. And so it's really special to be a part of that story with them. And they're great. We always have so much fun and lots of laughs, and yeah, it's really special. And I've been so lucky. I haven't really had a bad experience working with anybody that I've worked with in my career. So happy about that.
Yeah. Well, it must be because you set the tone so well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, maybe.
What is, you know, it's been such a roller coaster year, 15 months, you know, having these shows coming back to film. One of the first shows the first show in Toronto to come back to film, second in Canada. What has this time meant for you? What is this sort of, whirlwind of this last little while meant for you personally, professionally, having some highs, some lows?
It has been, the word whirlwind is right on it. It has been a crazy time. I think, I've been so lucky to be able to work during this time, to still be able to do what I love, do it in a way that I've never felt unsafe or, like my health was being jeopardized in any way, which is, incredible and all you can kind of ask for given the circumstances. And like personally, it's been a real time of like growth and, a lot of time to just sit and chill and think, which as actors, we don't often get a lot of time to do. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. It's been really interesting that like a lot of the things that I did before the pandemic all kind of came out during the pandemic, like season 1 on NBC, Dirty John, Two Hearts, now season 2. Like it's been a lot, but it makes me feel so happy that I was able to make these shows and these things that can entertain while we have been asked to stay at home and keep everybody safe. And so it's been really cool to be able to promote these shows that meant so much to me, and even more so now.
It's been really nice to be able to see, well, when I got a chance to see you actually act, to see you on set, and to see that you brought your own energy to a particular scene. It was also nice that we finally got a chance to interview your sister for the first time for Firefly Lane, which just got picked up for the second season, which was great.
It did, yeah.
And it was really nice to hear in the interview that she had mentioned that, you are there for her, you inspire her, and, sort of on her own said that. So that was really cool to see. And, who have been some of those people for you? Who have been some of the mentors or people that you really feel like have inspired you?
Yeah, I mean, like, my sister is 7 years younger than I am. And so she started once I had already started, but I was a kid when I started. And so, having people that inspired me wasn't really something that like at 7 I was thinking about. But my sister definitely is one of those people who inspires me. Like she works so incredibly hard. She did all of that season while being in school, has always, worked so much while getting really amazing grades and working so hard, and getting to see her on Firefly Lane. And like, even now when I just like have my TV and the Netflix is going and the Firefly Lane cover comes on, I'm like, that's my sister, which is really, really cool and exciting. And it's great to have somebody, because there are so many highs and lows of this industry, and have somebody so close to you who gets it, who's doing the same thing, who has experienced those highs and lows. It's amazing. Like I couldn't ask for a better partner to do this whole industry and life with. And we've been really lucky to be able to support each other through all of it. And like our parents are also incredibly supportive and did so much for us growing up so that we could be where we are now and go to all the auditions and the acting classes and the sets, and the countless hours of driving that my parents did while we were growing up in this industry is crazy. But yeah, like I've been lucky to study with some amazing acting coaches. I study with a woman named Deb Podowski right now, who's incredible. I've been with her for quite a few years now, and she has inspired me so much and helped me grow, and really pushed me and helped continue to develop my craft in a really nice way. And there's been little people like throughout, like Chad Michael Murray and Lily and Helen Hunt, and these people that I've worked with who have given me little bits of inspiration along the way and guidance. And I've just been so lucky to be able to work with everybody that I've worked with.
But what are some of the shows that you've come to maybe not being a part of that you've really been like, I really like this? What shows have inspired you?
I feel like, this was definitely like the time in my life that I watched more TV and movies than I probably ever have. I you know, I often in my career, like I haven't done a lot of comedy, which is something that I would like to do and adventure into at some point. And so I watched all of Modern Family like way too quickly. I just like blew through all 10 seasons because I wasn't doing anything. And I just loved their family dynamics, the humor. Like there were some moments in that show where I was like, oh, like just like burst into laughter, which is great. So, you know, it's interesting to be inspired by so many little shows. I watched a show called Sneaky Pete on, I believe on Amazon, found it randomly. And I was like, oh, I'll give this a try. Only 3 seasons, but I felt like it didn't really need more than 3 seasons. But the acting in that was so incredible and so strong. And I really enjoyed that. I love the Marvelous Miss Maisel. I love Rachel Brosnahan. I think she's incredible, and she's like definitely the type of actress that I aspire to be. And she's, you know, directing and producing and kind of doing it all. But her comedy in that is just so incredible. So good.
You've really touched upon, I have watched more TV, I feel like, than ever before. And you've touched on the kind of shows that are perfect for that format, you know, that you can just go through so quickly. What is something that you're really excited for people to see for this upcoming season? You know, what does it mean to you that the show's coming out now?
You know, I think that this season is really just our way of honoring the frontline workers. You know, we were making a TV show about the people that were risking their lives while we were making the TV show, and still, you know, putting themselves and their families at risk to keep people safe and alive. And it was an incredibly hard time for me while I was sitting on my couch, but to think about the way that they put themselves out there and protected all of us is just such an incredible thing. And I really think that this season from all of us is a thank you to them. And, you know, I think it's a really beautiful season. It's a really fun season. So I think, you know, for audience members as well, it's still that great escape. It's, you know, something that, you know, we were just talking about, sitting on your couch, you're able to watch it. And yeah, I think it's a really great, fun season. You get to see your 5 cast come together and go through their struggles and be normal, flawed, beautiful people while still trying to figure out, you know, their patients and their jobs and their lives.
And so great too, just as a viewer, that, you know, you're able to have that mix. You have some heavier scenes and you have some serious scenes, but it's still a little light too. You know, you have those lighter moments, you have strippers, and you have all kinds of fun things that, you know, make it all of the feels rather than just one particular. So I thought that was really so cool to see.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Tiera, I just wanted to thank you again. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. And I want to wish you the best from here. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.